Welcome to another ICI instructional video. In this video, we're gonna show you how to do a fish fumet, a stock. The difference between a fish fumet and a fish stock is basically because we are going to sweat or cook our bones to intensify the flavor, all right? Now, a fumet is made, like I mentioned, by slowly sweating or cooking the bones, right? So that's exactly what we're gonna do initially. We're gonna add very little oil, just enough to cover the bottom of our pan. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna use our fish that we previously fillet, but something that is very important that you can see that we remove the gills. We remove the eye because this is going to impart bitter flavors into our stock. Another thing that I want to talk about is that we want to utilize bones of or fish bones that are low in oil. Fish bones that are high in oil, like tuna or swordfish or salmon, all right, are not good bones to make our stock, okay? Because that oiliness that has is gonna impart flavors that are undesirable, okay? So right now what we're gonna do, we're gonna add our leeks, okay? Our celery, and our mushrooms. Normally, you have learned that when you are doing a white stock, you use it with a regular mirepoix, which is 50% onions, 25% carrots, and 25% celery. In here, we have done a white mirepoix omitting the carrots, okay? Now, when you're using the mushrooms, you want to make sure that you use the white part of the mushrooms. You want to trim all the gills from the mushrooms because it's going to make it cloudy, okay? So right now, we're going to start sweating. Remember, sweating, medium heat, all right? You want to move them or stir them constantly, but guess what? We also want to prevent the fish from getting too much friction and getting all these little pieces of proteins in between the bones to get out. That's gonna also get or make these bones to be cloudy. So what you wanna do is you kinda wanna stir them gently. Something that I like to do, all right, to make sure that my stock is not gonna get cloudy. Another way that we can do it instead of in our pot is by putting it in a sheet pan and put it in the oven for around 15 to 20 minutes. Just enough so you can see that the color of the bones and the head has turned from a vibrant red to a pale red. All right? Now, while this is simmering, we're going to do our sachet de peas, which is 2 bay leaves, 4 to 5 parsley stems, thyme, and cracked peppercorns, okay? So we're gonna come in here, we're gonna do like a little tea bag. Make sure that we tie it strongly so it doesn't open. And now we're gonna add our wine. Fumets also have wine. You can add lemon juice or whole lemons sliced. Also be careful with the temperature. Never boil it, all right? As the rapid movement or the convection of the water is gonna heat the particles inside the bone and it's gonna take all that out into the liquid and it's gonna make it cloudy, all right? Simmer 185 to 205 is perfect, all right? I added my wine. I let it reduce for a couple of minutes for evaporating the alcohol, making that sweet flavor of the wine. I'm gonna add water to cover it. Now, when we're doing stocks, we wanna do 50% bones, 10% mirepoix, and 100% liquid. How does that translate into weight? So it's pretty easy. For every 8 pounds of bones, 1.5 gallons of water, 1 pound of mirepoix, and 1 sachet de pis. All right? And from there, you can calculate everything that you have. Now, we want to bring this to a quick boil and then immediately simmer. We're going to be cooking this for 35 to 45 minutes. Now, why do we cook these stocks so little instead of a fish stock or instead of a chicken stock or a brown stock that we normally cook for 6 to 8 hours or even 10 to 12 hours? Is because of the size of the bone. The size of the bones are so small, all right, that it doesn't need that much time to extract all those flavors and that collagen. So we're going to wait a few minutes until we bring this to a quick boil, and then we'll get back. After a few minutes, our stock is starting to get to a boil. So now I'm going to turn it down into a simmer, 185 to 205, and we're going to add our sachet de pis, and we are going to tie it to one of the corners. We are going to let it simmer for 35 to 45 minutes until we got a beautiful stock. Now, what characteristics makes a beautiful stock? First, the body of a stock. The collagen is going to make it nice and give it a nice body. Obviously, the flavor. You want a mild flavor that has that pronounced fish flavor, chicken flavor, or beef flavor. Remember, it's the base of a sauce. You want the clarity of the stock to be nice and clear, because if not, our sauces are going to have odd colors. And finally, we're going to take it and we're going to cook it for that time. And we're going to show you when we come back how to strain it and cool it properly. We have let our fish Fumet simmer for 35 minutes. And as you can see now, we have some of the impurities, all right, that has risen to the surface. What I'm doing right now is I'm depuliaging all those impurities before I strain it, okay? But as you can tell right now, the clarity of this stock is very beautiful. I'm gonna proceed now to strain my stock. I have a fine chinoise. I have in here cheesecloth, where I'm gonna put, I have dampened a little bit, and I'm going to put it on the center of my chinoise. And with a ladle, carefully, I am going to be taking this stock and straining it to make sure there's no impurities or no particles. Now, imagine if we took all this care into making this beautiful stock, and then just at the end we decide to take this and pour it just like that directly into a strainer. Guess what's going to happen? All that force and all that is going to make our stock cloudy, and it's going to damage it. All right? So you want to make sure that you take care from start to finish in order to have a beautiful stock with a beautiful body, beautiful appearance, nice and clear, and that is going to be the great base for your sauces, soups. Very important that after we do this, we cool this as fast as possible to maintain its quality. What we can do is we can put it in ice bath and cool it in that form. You can see in here there are some particles that are oily. Something that we can do to remove that and make sure our stock is beautifully and cloudy is take a little paper towel, all right, and just run it just like that to remove those impurities. From here, I know you cannot smell it, but if you could, you will see the beautiful aroma that this one has. As you can see also, all that oiliness from the top has been removed. So as you can see, this is a beautiful fish fumet. The only thing left to do is to cool it and then store it and label it properly.